Renegades woke up into this second map, and Liaz said, hey, I've come this far and I'm not going to give up now. There was no way they were going to let ViCi Gaming walk away with a 2-0. And that takes us to Train. But Inferno, that was a lot more like it, right? More of what we expected from our earlier analysis.
There was a complete different outlook for both teams, I would say. Renegades feeling on top, Renegades feeling confident, whereas ViCi Gaming, they didn't really have a lot to offer. We did ask the question, could Liaz, could Gratisfaction stand for the pressure? You know, they're the two young guys coming into this. All of a sudden, all the pressure was brought on them after losing the first map. But as you said, Liaz played one hell of a game, and Renegades looked like them old self. Yeah,
it's pretty much a par for course for Renegades, right? This is what we expected to see from them, and it's a great showing. It's not like ViCi played necessarily a horrible T-side. They tried quite a few number of things. A little sloppy here and there. We saw a lot of failed smokes and missed Molotovs here and there. There was a little bit of discombobulation in the way they're approaching the T side, but at the same time, it wasn't terrible. It's just that Renegades, their CD side was phenomenal. Just, it wasn't like over the top. It was just like textbook Counter-Strike, like JKS, just delaying the B push, getting banana control all the time, mixing it up. They had a crossfire set up towards the A bomb side, for example. It was, I think it was Azza. It was Liaz as well. A lot of clutch runs coming out from him. Everyone just showed up. Azza had a great game. Liaz had a lot of clutches, like you mentioned. We spoke about how the young guys might be, feeling a little bit of pressure, but when it was a clutch time, Liaz just stood up, right? And yeah, all things considered, it was a very, very, very positive showing coming out from Renegades.
Matter of quality in the end. Renegades had that quality, as you said. They had the quality aspects in the game. They had the fundamental strong Counter-Strike textbook play. They had the individual performances to back it up. And in the end, I didn't see anything from ViCi Gaming here that tells me that they're a great Inferno team. So the fact that they picked this map and went into Renegades on Inferno is a little bit surprising to me, because you'd think to yourself they have something in the books, that they can rattle them off, but nothing really worked out for them. And as I said, not sure whatever it is, ViCi Gaming having a bad game or just Renegades being Renegades.
And that's the thing, right? We looked at you thinking, oh, okay, look, they've picked into Inferno. There's got to be a plan here behind it all. But ViCi, and this is what really bothers me, guys, is that ViCi came into, there was multiple situations where we went, okay, you started flashing, you started like playing off each other. We saw trade fragging, we saw a nice entries coming out from on Mirage. And then on Inferno, it was like, we just forgot all of that.
I think it's something Blur can attest to, but isn't it a typical Asian Chinese thing where you get a little bit excited about them, you see some glimpses of potential, and then all of a sudden you move into the next map, and it seems like they forget everything they just did on the first map.
Yeah, that's kind of like I'm losing my hair as well. You can see receding hairline. It is exactly as you explained so succinctly, Pimp. The fact is, when they play Counter-Strike, from what I've seen of them, right, it's like, they surprised me, like some pretty damn solid Counter-Strike, and all of a sudden it kind of disappears, and especially when the pressure is on them. They are, like, it sounds very cliched, but these teams are very momentum-based teams. Right? When things are working their way, it just starts flowing great. They're hitting the shots and whatnot, and when things aren't really working their way, all the the innovation we see from them certain maps just seems to disappear. They kind of fall flat-footed. That being said, like, I really don't want to fault VG too much in this particular map. Again, stats can be a lie when you're coming to a scene like the Asian scene. You look at the NA scene, you look at the EU scene, you're like, all right, these guys have a 70% win rate on Inferno. That's great. That's something you can base your stats off. Now, if you look at Inferno VG, they have a very good win rate, but it is against other Asian teams like Cyberzen, like so Ro4, some of these other Chinese teams, Firepower, all these guys who aren't necessarily that great on this map. So coming to this map, it made sense. Really, we're comfortable here, but Renegades were way more comfortable.
I definitely agree. I mean, it just looks sloppy on that T side on Inferno. It's not the fact that you're maybe not having the quality of players to go up against Renegades or to get the entry facts, so to speak. But the grenades was a little bit sloppy. The play was a little bit sloppy. Yep. The rotations were sloppy. It was all just a little bit sloppy, so to speak. And that needs to be edged out coming into Train. Simple as it is.
I guess we're looking at a sloppy game ahead of us. Guys, thank you very much as we get to move on to Train. The question is, will it be a yeah, the boys moment, or will the Chinese team step up when needed? It's crunch time, it's do or die, and it's over to Hugo and Harry. Take it away, boys.
I don't know why Pimp is complaining so much. He usually loves it sloppy, but let's head into this third and final map of the series between Renegades and ViCi. Over on Train, Harry, Renegades definitely bounced back from that first map that didn't go too well, and they really show what they were made of on Inferno.
Oh, they almost certainly did. Now the question becomes, are the trains going to be running on time? Is the schedule looking how it should? Or are Renegades going to be having to get their replacement bus service home? Or not home, rather. They'll have to be down into that lower bracket, but certainly not where you want to end up. Obviously a team that was yet to lose a map in the minor. We saw a dominant victory for ViCi over on Mirage. Renegades able to pull things back on their map pick of Inferno. And now Train, the big decider. Gratisfaction going to be picking up utility for the rest of the squad as they go ahead and send 5 players over here toward this B bomb site. Likely going to save that smoke for Connector or to get them down the ramp. Lining that up now. Flashbangs will accompany it, and Freeman along with Kazi here. This is the dynamic duo of ViCi that we so often talk about. We need to see some magic from them. We need to see why we speak about these players so much. And Freeman might do exactly that in with one, but JKS trades straight back. So a 4-on-4, and this bomb, it's not even in B. The rotations come through for ViCi, but Renegades, they've doubled back to the A bomb site.
This flank from Az is so big as well. It's going to cut off the rotations inside of the connector. He will double back out of there, and now they've realized it's an A play after all. So JKS is now the man on the flank. Already on a 3-piece. Az catches the kills from Hell, and Renegades will take that pistol round very, very decisively. Really nice execute down to that lower bomb site already. You know, getting that first kill, forcing the CT player off. And, I mean, JKS didn't need to get 3 kills anyway because they did enough in forcing those rotations, but getting 3 kills certainly helps. So 1-0 start here to the Aussies on the 3rd and final map of this series. And remember, Harry, if you win this game, you not only guarantee yourself that top, or not guarantee, but you get yourself in that top spot to play for the first minor spot. You also get to play for the second if you lose that game. And even if you lose that game, you go to the guaranteed third place decider, which will, of course, be coming up in a few days. However, this round, Renegades already 2 entries. This Deagle's proving to be a bit of a nightmare for them. Freeman finding 2, bomb dropped as well. This round is coming down to the wire.
Oh no, Freeman, they keep on feeding him. They keep on feeding the beast of ViCi. And now it is just Gratisfaction left in this clutch. 14 HP, and he's going to get polished off. Things were looking so good for Renegades to get off to a good start, and ViCi able to claw their way back into a round that they had absolutely no business picking up. Freeman with his magic Deagle cements that first round very early on here for ViCi, and now we see the force buy for Renegades as they attempt to out ViCi. ViCi.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, apparently. I wasn't too sure about it when I said it. But hey, at least no one drew attention to it.
I got to keep you leveled, Harry.
Yeah, no, keep me on my toes. That's what Renegades are looking to try and do right now in toward this B-bomb site. They're looking to keep Freeman on his toes. Obviously, big performance from him in the round prior, and he's usually one of the players within this squad that we look to step up over on the side of ViCi. We're really going to have to see him demonstrate why that is now. He does have an incendiary. He can try and drop that over here towards this ramp. That disallows that aggression that we've seen Renegades go for, and it forces them into the bomb site. But no, they rush through the Molotov. They blindside Freeman. Kazi in with another, and Zoking now barreling through these smokes, looking to take these fights and get back into the retake. Gratisfaction, like 1 man from the ranks of ViCi. Now he's got to try and find 3. As they smoke him off, there shouldn't be much love for Grat in this round. He's retrieved the Deag, but they're already tapping this bomb, and Gratisfaction a long way from helping out. He is just going to back off. Bomb plant for Renegades, but the round not found, and ViCi will convert.
Yeah, not a worry. There are only pistols for Renegades, but it does mean that we're going to see ViCi off to a likely 3-1 start before anything's going to happen for the Aussies. Post-pistol, that is. As a conversion is found down on that B-bomb site, and side of ViCi at least, well, yeah, there's definitely seeming to be some problems with them not expecting these fast pushes and these deep control rounds from Renegades, right? Multiple times we've had Renegades run down that close ramp wall, and it's never been expected by Zoking or Freeman, whoever's on the site. Like that Molotov that Renegades push through to get control of B. You need to be ready for that when you're up against these pistols, and Renegades have them once again, looking for the A burst through the pop dog. They've already taken immediate control here. Oh, nice shot. Gratisfaction opening up this one. No gun retrievable. That's the issue with getting these kills on the train yard. So far away these weapons typically are, but this back down towards B for Renegades could be the right call. There's no one here apart from Freeman on upper. Now he will have information as they hit this lower site, but the rotations have to come through to stop that plant.
First man trying to go for more, but Not quite able to control the spray. Here's Freeman. That's now an AUG handed over to Liaz. The bomb goes down in a 3v3 with a little bit of time to try and cement these post plants. The issue is Zoking setting a blistering pace. They lose Liaz over on the ramp, and now it is just JKS remaining. He'll get polished off, and ViCi successfully able to retake this B bomb site once again. But another bomb plant for Renegades does mean that this economy over on their T side will be swollen. We're going to get to see the AWPs bought out early. And I'm curious if we're going to maybe see them, you know, maybe not on the T side, but definitely CT side, you're going to see Renegades running that double AWP. It's something they feel very comfortable doing. We often see it, you know, between JKS and Gratis faction. Over here on the T side, it will just be Grat picking up his big green gun early. Kazi gonna have his out over on the side of ViCi Gaming. So this is that head-to-head that I was excited about seeing. Now, we never really got to see it come into fruition on Mirage all too much. Inferno wasn't really an AWP-heavy map, not for ViCi. Obviously, you know, it is... wow. Ooh.
Not bad.
It's a nice little smoke. Goes ahead and disallows the early aggression from Renegades into the halls.
So good it goes outside the map. And you can see that's making JKS very fearful of the push-up ramp. It's not come through, but just the presence there is going to expel a lot of utility from Renegades as they try and regain control of the box walls, a position that typically is you know, pretty easy for the T's to get. But ViCi keeping them on their toes for now. Renegades creeping their way up Ivy here, though, in this rifle round, and they just a couple of seconds too early. Kaze's on the angle with the AWP, ready for that quick shot. This bomb is going to begin to back off for Renegades as well, but as I say that, recommitting up through the Ivy, looking like that T-Con split to the A site. Now we have a man in Pop Dog. That's going to be the biggest question mark here for Renegades. Are they aware of Zoking's position? Kaze flashed off and he will miss that shot. Now the AWP is posted up, but Kaze's going to drop it with the bomb in tow as well. Liaz getting the entry to T-Con, but here's Zoking.
Kaze's been dealt with. Zoking not able to find anything there, and that's Advent and Freeman. Suddenly propelled into this 2-on-3. Things were looking good for ViCi in this round, and Advent trying to deny the bomb plant. Azza not quite able to find him, but the bomb goes down just in the nick of time, in the blink of an eye. This has all fallen onto JKS, but he's opened up. And now down to the 1v1. He has the bomb in his sights, but he peeks wide, and Advent will find him. Just 12 HP left on the lone gunman for ViCi. A successful retake in spite of being a man down, in spite of that bomb plant coming in for Renegades. It seemed like all the pieces of the puzzle were there. And you know, if you think back, for me, Renegades, their train, especially in these intense decider matches, has always been, I don't want to say like a bit of a nightmare, but there's always been bad things associated with it for me. You think back to IEM Sydney, obviously, where they were knocked out in front of the home crowd, and there were moments where they were sitting in the lead in that series versus Mouse Sports. If you recall, there was that big clutch from JKS that almost came in, and then it gets given up, and then it allowed Mouse Sports to come back into it. So I always have a bit of, you know, worry, a few flashbacks to moments like that on this map.
Oh, good night.
Yeah, he's certainly not too keen on making mistakes on train anymore, is JKS.
Oh, Kaze's had no idea what hit him there. He's going to jump spot, and we'll see the players falling off at least. But Renegades, early pick, early damage, but early control from ViCi because Zoking's gone in. And the best part about doing this with no flashbang as well is Renegades, they have no idea. They can assume, but they have nothing to suggest that any player is in this position. And Zoking, he's going to go for it to his own demise. Azza catches the kill, 9 HP left on him. Do you hate to see it as ViCi now gather up on this A-bomb site. Bomb going to be wrapping back from Ivy. Don't want to go down to that AWP that was there earlier on, and now Renegade's going to be rerouting towards that B site. Currently empty. We might see this push up from Orman. This could sever the push from Renegades, and on the ladder, the bullets will go astray. Getting pushed from the backline as well, and Gratis faction finally gets that kill. It's the AWP down on B from Kaze. How much can he do? There's a double. They could just rotate back towards the A site, and I think he maybe wants to give this up for now, try and let Advent have his time to shine, but that smoke in his face. Oh, so much damage through it. And Gratisfaction, balls of steel, he even sticks the plant.
That's really not a conventional plant spot either. Gratisfaction very fortunate to be alive in this situation. Brought down so low. Advent looking to finish off the job that he started, and he will. This cannot be another 2-on-3 retake from ViCi. I mean, this was a 2-on-5 at one point in time. Kaze going above and beyond to get them back into it, and he's going to go even further. Third kill found, fourth for Kaze, and ViCi a 5-1 lead. Oh, dearie me. A 2v5 turned into a round win from ViCi. And you can see one of the reasons why we've been highlighting Kaze so much. Just popping off there to somehow give ViCi a retakeable situation. Finds both of those kills. Advent doing a great job to do so much damage through the smokes, but look at this. He deals with Jacob up on the rafters, instant reposition, reads into that so well, is aware, with where the bomb's planted, it's planted for the upper and ramp play. And he's able to deal with both of those players.
Yeah, the timing on that repeat from Renegades, right? They don't go down ramp and upper at the exact same time. That could have led them to, likely take away that 2-on-2, but Kaze just given so much room to get the pick on upper, reroute back down towards the lower ramp, take the second shot. Renegades are going to come to regret that. 5-1, Harry. Now, they still have money off the back of the bomb plant, but they need to start getting back on this T side. They haven't had a round since the pistol. Didn't even get the second one after losing to the force buy with Freeman on that Deagle. ViCi have really made a run off the back of that second round, and now Renegades back up Ivy here. 3 players and the bomb. No AWP, and well, that's a problem considering how well Kaze's playing. Now Advent's going to be pushed off very early. T-Con is pressured in the meantime from ViCi as no one's there for Renegades. It's not going to be a point of contention for now, but Azza will begin to move into position. Still this triple Ivy setup. Kaze's come to join him as well, so now going to have this AWP down the long angle. Ooh. Careful, Kaze. Renegades are spamming it. He's ready with a Molotov, and if he times that well, he might be able to cut off this push for a bit of time, but they still have smokes to play with. "46 seconds on the clock. The push looks very telegraphed. There's been nothing towards BB. Yet to see a rotation from ViCi, maybe expecting somewhat of a fake or even an attempted CT wrap. So Kaze sits there watching that position, not letting Renegades pass. They will be creeping through. That smoke is going to dissipate soon, and he's already making noise, so Renegades know where he is.
King able to get one. Orman now from the sandwich, trying to help his teammates out, but it's JKS and Azza who have perhaps done enough to secure this round for Renegades. That said, we've seen countless 2-on-3 retakes from this ViCi Gaming side pull through, so Renegades not out of the woods just yet. Azza and JKS with this crossfire. This should be enough to cement this round. ViCi, the one downside to these last few rounds coming so down to the wire does mean that they might just have to save, because the money has run low over on this CT side. Advent's making it a priority to try and hold on to the AWP, and Freeman caught sleeping at the wheel. Renegades will secure a second as finally they're able to close out one of these retakes when they do have that man advantage.
You'd like to think it was all too easy, but Renegades have to really push the boat out for these rounds. Their first rifle round secured now. And with 3 players surviving, at least it doesn't mean it was, the same issue that ViCi have been having, which is that money.
One of the things I like there, though, from ViCi is the decision to go for that save. I think it would have been very easy to lull yourself into that false sense of security. We've won so many of these 2-on-3s, these impossible situations where we shouldn't, that, maybe they could have been tempted to go for that. And as we saw in Inferno, where they did look pretty complacent, they did kind of maybe believe that, okay, no, yeah, we got this in the bag. Well, we saw how that ended up. So they play things safe. They play it by the numbers. And they go for this save. Now you can see they've gone for the force over on the CT side. AWP going to be thrown over to Kaze. And you imagine they're going to look to try and have him be the man to create the space, create the opportunities in this round. You can even juggle that AWP around on the remaining players because everyone does have armor. And also what this means is any kills that ViCi find, suddenly when those rifles get scavenged, get picked up, these players are going to be that much more deadly.
This time we actually only have a solo B player here for ViCi. They've been going for 3-2s, but with A being the consistent point of Renegades' attacks, ViCi want to spread the numbers a little bit more favorably towards the A side. Now that already changes with Avon being forced off of the angle down on B ramp. Some utility into the pop dog. Renegades going to try and take control, and there's no one here to stop them. This is only that force buy for ViCi. We're relying a lot on this AWP of Kaze, but on a map like Train, that's to be expected. However, more so than ever, and with no one on Ivy, his attention diverted to the wrong position. The fast pop dog play coming through here from the Renegades, and they try and burst through this main smoke as well, losing one to Freeman, but being successful in main. Now that plant can come in for Kaze, and Jacob's already pushing into the connector to catch the wrap round, so the AWP already being dropped, and the round already being won. It's just Orman left alive. He's got to hold onto his gun. Renegades, really nice execute there. They deal with the pistols very, very well. And they even are going to be able to grab that AWP post-round to pick it up for Gratisfaction.
I'm curious if we see them grab it. Renegades have been finding success in these faster plays. Liaz has retrieved that AWP and he's going to juggle it away. So Renegades, yeah, they will take the AWP with them. You imagine that means that they slip back into these slower defaults. Not going to be trying to go for anything too explosive. It will just be the eco from ViCi in this one. I was curious. You could have made the case for them to just run the rifles, right? These explosive rounds have been working. Also, you know you're going to be running into the pistols in this round, so you don't want to risk giving the AWP over. But it makes sense to take the free upgrade while they've got it.
And knowing how well Kaze's been doing as well in some of these rounds, yeah, Renegades definitely won it. And the reason they've not had it so far has not really been down to choice, it's been down to that lack of money, right? We had 5 rounds in a row from ViCi before Renegades eventually won a rifle. So at least give it a go. Azza's already finding the nade killed Freeman on the E-box. This should be a pretty clean sweep, you'd imagine, for Renegade, and Azza is looking confident to try and find a little bit more. Third player does win the battle, and that's the saved UMP, so the one gun on this team can upgrade to the AK as no one was nearby Azza, but it was only a solo man effort, a bit of a fake to allow for this B plant to come in. Gratisfaction even gets a shot through the smoke, and Orman, he's just going to try and save this AK, maybe do some damage in the post plant, get an exit or two if Renegades allow it. But it will be 4 rounds here to the T side now, Harry. Definitely a nice comeback from Renegades, who were very, very slow to start in this third map.
I mean, this is important, you know, you think about it. ViCi was sitting 5-1 up at one point in time. They're over on this CT side. They were looking so good. The fact that they were able to win so many of those retakes in situations where really they shouldn't. You know, the fact of the matter is that we've seen that bomb go down for Renegades in all but one of the rounds that we've seen play out thus far. But what that does mean for ViCi, and one of the reasons why we see Renegades now being allowed to chain a couple together is, okay, sure, you're winning out the 2-on-4s, the 2-on-3s, 2-on-5s, all these impossible rounds that you shouldn't be. It means that your economy's never given that chance to grow, and as we saw, what that meant for ViCi was the second Renegades were finally able to take one. Well, they've been getting bomb plants every single round, so they've got plenty of cash. They were buying up in almost all of the rounds. They had the loss bonus as a result of 5 in a row going the way of ViCi. So the buys were always available for Renegades, and over in the ViCi camp, the second they lose one, the money was gone. And that's allowed Renegades to chain together a couple, build back into this game. Now sitting 4-5, but a buy back on the cards for ViCi Gaming here. Kaze going to have the AWP in hand quite critically. He's been a real mainstay of this team. And you can see initially trying to take this peek down through Ivy. That Molotov holds them back while Liaz is posted up. Keep an eye on this portion of the map. I did actually overhear, you know, as I left this room, the Renegades guys speaking to Kassad, their coach, and one of the things I overheard was him saying, keep an eye out for the Ivy aggression from ViCi.
Couldn't be more true than ever here. Two players pushed down. Renegades just going to set up for a straight-up B execute. We've not seen one of these early plays yet for a while, so Orman's got to deal with it. And, oh, the flashbang's not there, so he's going to have a free line of sight. So much damage past that first kill, and Freeman might be able to finish off the job. He actually takes down the full HP player, but that's actually good for ViCi. The issue is JKS up above the catwalk, finding another 1-for-1. It's great trades from ViCi, but it eventually gets out of control. With Azza diving through the connector, it's the thorn in the side of Zoking. And he's not got any tweezers. Still getting pushed from the top side as well of those B halls. And I think at this point he realizes this is unrealistic. Probably go and save this gun. Renegades are going to go up 5-5 here on the T side. And another nice rifle round picked up by these Ts. Is he going to be ready for the angle? Oh yeah, flicked back from Zoking. Bit messy, but he gets it done. And the AWP even being saved as well. So best case scenario for ViCi really in that 1v2. They get the AWP, they get out. But no AWP save for Renegades.
And here's the thing, Renegades throwing away, you know, those man advantages and retakes that we saw ViCi pick up. Okay, yeah, they were making the mistakes early on, but it relied a lot on these huge, incredible plays from ViCi. Renegades, you know, now they're not keen on making these mistakes. We're seeing them set each other up nicely. We're seeing the flanks come in. All of this is working out. Trades going in favor of Renegades. And it's times like this where the big plays fail to come through from key players on ViCi that they really do show some of their weaknesses. That round there, you're almost relying on Orman to get at least 2 down at the ramp if you wanted to win it. Now, he did a lot of damage, but it wasn't enough.
Again, this Ivy push as well from ViCi. They have one man pushed down, support from the AWP. And even taking T-Con. I do love the aggression from ViCi, but so far it's really not netted them too much this map. Renegades have been doing a very good job of avoiding this in the majority of the rounds. And at least being methodical when we have got pushed up players, Renegades checking their backs. Now they've got to deal with Kazi on the site, but only one man in the pop dog, so Renegades looking like they will avoid this play once again, this setup with the AWP. Now look at the wrap though, because Orman is all the way on the flank, and this is going to allow for a very heavy B rotation. We already have Zoking up in main. I don't know why we still have this AWP committed towards A. Pop Dog's the only position that's not been covered, but everything else is, so this should definitely be a B play, and ViCi should be aware.
Very paranoid about the Pop Dog position, and that'll be their undoing. ViCi are bang on. They had all the information in the world, and even that didn't seem like enough for them. Living in the information generation. And Orman, now 1v5 required. He's on this flank, but it's not going to come into fruition. You're not going to get anything from it. One silver lining, I guess, is that they didn't spot the flank come through on the side of Renegades, so they didn't know that ViCi had all the information.
The information doesn't really matter if you're just rotating pistols, right? If you're going to win that round, if you really want to win that round, the second you get enough info, it doesn't even have to be 100%, right? Because I understand why they didn't rotate the AWP, mainly because Pop Dog was still open and that flank hadn't completely cleared T-spawn or the exterior of main. But if you have main control and Ivy and you're on an eco round, just rotate the AWP, gamble. It's going to be the right choice. 9 times out of 10. And too late into the bomb site. By that point, Renegades already had a plant in, and that's going to be their round. So, yeah, I feel like ViCi definitely could have gone for an earlier rotation there. But not the end of the world, as I said. It wasn't eco. It wasn't, you know, a lot to play with. They do have the full buy now here with the AWP, albeit armorless. But this has to be a ViCi round, because what's that now? 5 in a row for Renegades.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you do kind of hit the nail on the head, right? You understand why they didn't rotate. For me, one of the big question marks was, why do you have Zoking aggressive over in main with so much control down through Ivy? It almost seemed like they negated one another. Then you become so worried about Pop Dog. And you take a look at how Renegades have elected to take this A-bomb site. They've been very willing to rotate in through Pop. They've been very, very willing to go for those fakes into the B bomb site and then just go with an instantaneous explosive play into Ward A. And I think that's what ViCi were worried about.
It's just very rare to see an A take with only pop dog control and a full rifle round versus pistols. That just doesn't seem to be a wise call. Yeah. The Renegades have now used 4 of their tactical pauses. That's all of them. And we're only 12 rounds in. We're 1.5 in, and Renegades are in control of this half. There's been 5 rounds in a row, and they're still calling in pauses. Now, I like that. It's great. Even if you're winning rounds, pauses can always help you fix little mistakes. But the issue is, if this game starts to get out of control, Renegades don't have any pauses to slow down the pace, to break the momentum, to give them a second to talk to Kassad on that second half. And that's certainly not what you want, but let's see if it is a problem later on, because right now, the problem is Zoking. He's pushed up towards the pop dog. Already taken a man down. Gratisfaction. Oh, I don't know if he meant to drop in or just stay on the ladder and go back up, because as a result, he's dropped the bomb. That did not seem like it was completely purpose, because he was still looking at the ground, and it's common to see players, fake the ladder drop.
What a horrible spot to drop the bomb in. I couldn't think of a worse position than pop dog. Just Liaz and JKS left standing. Zoking still here, will be spotted, but he's still able to find that. Oh, okay. Ooh, putting the king back in Zoking there, royalty of ViCi. As he secures a 6th round, finally putting a stop to the 5-round streak from Renegades. Really, it does fall apart the second Grat drops that bomb down in down in pop dog rather.
And that's a lifeline for ViCi as well. Now they finally want to rifle around after this huge streak of failures. We've got the double AWP as a result. The money is actually starting to build as well, so this could be ViCi getting back into the half, at least for the last couple of rounds. Already Freeman forced off that angle at B. And the second he has been, the second we've seen ViCi give up ramp control, they've always rotated another man over. So now 2 players on B, Kaze and Freeman. Both AWPs. Zoking got to be pushing the pop dog. Oh, he might catch the timing, but he makes a bit of noise, and a lot of noise when he shoots through. Ahead of the nade and then back on into the yard. Once that nade goes off, he can get away from the pop. Still has a smoke for it. Lots of utility here for the ViCi side. 50 seconds for Renegades to try and break their way up Ivy. Now putting pressure on pop this early and then rotating down towards this Ivy position might catch ViCi off guard, but they do have Advent watching it. 38 seconds, and these Molotovs on ViCi still prove to be a problem.
Yeah, they could almost have to get this done on time alone. Advent does have an Incendiary, but he's not going to get his off in time as Liaz and Gratisfaction open up in toward the A bomb site. 15 seconds, and Gratisfaction punching in the numbers leaves Kaze in a 1-on-4. Things were looking good from ViCi, but all the kills coming through on this Renegade side. Kaze looking to try and hold on to the AWP, but now 1v2. Renegade's going to decide, okay, let's stop biting the hand that feeds us. As give up a little bit trying to hunt the last man, but it will still be Renegades taking the lead back. Going blow for blow with ViCi.
Yeah, definitely take the hint. You don't want to keep chasing. So Kaze gets away with the AWP there, and the money is the main issue for ViCi, because of course Renegades had such a strong T-side streak, and then ViCi only get 1 round before the reset comes through. So lucky they took that 1 round convincingly, but it's still only going to leave them with 2 to 3K a player. AWP is going to be really the only weapon they have to work with in this round. Now they can eco and get a bite in the follow-up for the final round of the half, but it does mean that Renegades are going to be winning the half almost guaranteed. This should, in theory, be an 8th round unless Kaze can stop it. And again, the Ivy aggression from ViCi. seemingly being a staple of their CT side, but it's not working out for them. That Molotov might seal the deal. Kaze's smoke went in too deep, and it can't put out the Molotov. Liaz is going to be able to get that frag as he tries to retreat. And the AWP dropped in no man's land. Freeman wants to retrieve it, but he's not going to get an easy chance to do so. He's getting spammed through the smoke, and Liaz, second kill from it. Even the main aggression that has been going on all game, and Az is ready for it. No escape for Orman. This is an absolute slaughter for Renegades.
Gratisfaction trying to be movement boy 2 down towards Ivy.
He has some nice hops.
He does.
Some good movement.
And yeah, there's no hope for Advent here. Renegades will be closing out an 8th round and potentially keeping 5 alive. Utterly fantastic stuff, and a great recovery considering they were 5-1 down at one point in time. I think this is one of the most... I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. I haven't seen a game where I've seen this many bomb plants go down. There's been so many retakes. Very rarely has it actually come down just to, ViCi winning things out.
The thing is,
the bat. It's always been retakes.
Sorry, I thought you finished with your point, and I butt in. I apologize, but yeah,
it was very eager.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the score thingy here. It was 4 retakes in a row for ViCi, and there was 5 bomb explosions. So if anything, it's been a lot of saves from ViCi more than anything. That's what that points to. And their money has really been in tatters this half. So what have they got to do with it? Last round, Orman's going to get aggressive, trying to leave some of the pressure of his teammate out in the yard. He's getting faced from Popdog. There are 2 here. And Kaze, he won't need his teammate. He's got the job done solo, both kills. A bomb's still in the Popdog, but Liaz wants to be very careful, does not want to give this away. And Kaze's on the angle. Liaz getting tagged down low. Az has taken a kill into the yard, but the flashbang is there. Liaz blinds himself on the peak. He'll still get some damage off, and Gratisfaction will find a kill. The issue is this flank coming through onto the Popdog that Liaz is 1 step ahead. Advent now alone, and he's got to hold down this entire site, but ducking back through the smoke. Renegades might do the same thing. They can hit B, but Advent will be 1 step ahead.
Advent just counting down the days to this rotation, trying to wipe their schedule clean, but no, the information gained from Gratisfaction. Bomb's going to go down over here towards A, and that leaves Advent. In a 1-on-2, and they've surely got the idea that he could have gone for this Popdog flank. He could have been towards this B-bomb site. They didn't spot him over at A. Right now, looks like they're banking on that CT rotation from him, but you can see Gratisfaction is keeping an eye over towards main. Looking like now he's going to try and take this peek into Popdog, and he will catch the timing. So Renegades 9-6 over on their T side. A dominant recovery considering they were 5-1 down at one point in time. Fantastic stuff. The question now becomes, who will be closing out this series? Who will be moving in to the upper bracket in the playoffs? Find out after the break. Well, the Renegades train off to a good start here. Moving to their CT side, they sit 3 rounds up. ViCi, aside from that 5-round streak, they were only able to find one measly round. So the road to recovery could be a long one. Be sure of that. They're going to be setting up over here toward the B-bomb site early on. They have the Molotov on Orman for the post plant. Alternatively, you can look to try and use it in the site, take maybe Molotov off connector to buy time for, to deny the rotations. Smoke's getting lined up by Advent and Orman, and it does look like they're going to try and save this Molotov for the post plant. This only leaves JKS to worry about inside the bomb site, and he's going to get overwhelmed, but not before he drops Freeman. So an important 1-for-1 there. That was the bare minimum really we needed to see him get. Zoking tries to barrel through this smoke down in connector. Liaz, whoop, caught out. Dropped by Kaze, and now 3-on-3 ensues. Renegades on the retake, but they've lost Jacob.
Yeah, weren't ready for Advent playing close to the Glock, and this wrap from Kaze has come back through the ramp, so they need to get on this bomb ASAP. Smoke is down, Az has dropped the flank, but there is a man in upper, and Orman's going to be spamming at the bomb. He can't hit the shot. One bullet is all that's needed, but it won't connect. Renegades get the defuse. A really nice try there from ViCi, and nice connector push from them as well. They do catch Renegades off guard with that, but more of a case of just not hitting their shots than anything when they got down to that 2-on-2 within the connector, and Renegades are going to be able to get on that bomb in time. So 10 rounds taken here from the CT side. And on this third and final map of the series as well, winner of this going to be going forward to the final match, the qualification for the major new challenger stage. Loser isn't out though. Obviously the lower bracket match will be going on between the loser of this and the loser of later's best of 3, Greyhound MVP. Another absolute barn burner. Renegades already looking clean and concise in this round. 2 players picked off by these CTs.
And now just hoping to find damage. That really is the best case. Orman trying to bait this peek from Jacob. He has succeeded in baiting him in. The issue is Jacob wins the fight regardless. 11-6. Renegades able to convert. They keep 4 players alive. It's clean, and that's the important part. First buy round for ViCi round the corner. And Hugo, you know what they say? Spam this Peachy to help ViCi. I think that'll do. I mean, they rhymed avocado yesterday with bravado.
Yeah, that's so work.
I mean, it's close enough. I'll give it to them. But a tactical timeout called in for ViCi over on this T side. And I like that. They're heading into their first rifle buy here. They understand the importance of it. You lose this round, you hand it 12 over to Renegades. You have to take a small investment in the next. So the odds are Renegades will be reaching 13. I like this. A little bit of time now to make sure everyone's on the same page. Heading in to this all-important buy round. They're first over on the T side.
Well, the AWP on Kaze is going to have to find these opening kills, so let's see where they send him. In towards T-Con already to start off this round, looking for a quick pick on top of top red, but no one here. Renegades do immediately go aggressive towards that pop dock, but Azza will back off. Molly in tow. Kaze can't even see anyone, let alone find the opener. Bit of an inkling where Jacob is, but wrong place, wrong time. He's back towards the box. In the meantime, ViCi barely put any pressure on B, so we've still got 2 players here for Renegades. But the smoke going down as well. That gives Renegades a lack of information, rather, which means we need to see Gratisfaction dedicated to the top of B. Therefore, ViCi can push into this A site with rotate coming back through from Renegades. It will keep this solo B player in the form of JKS. Liaz backing out through the smoke, and Jacob, very aggressive position, but it might just work out.
They've gone right by him. Liaz tries to get it done through the smoke, and that's allowed Advent to dispatch of the danger man. Orman in with another. Man advantage still maintained for Renegades as the trades do go in their favor, and now the forces of ViCi divided. The old saying, divide and conquer, couldn't ring more true. Orman in the hot seat and a 1v3 required. He'll get dropped. Renegades 12-6, double that of their opponent here in map number 3. For those of you who are just joining us, by the way, you missed a very back and forth series. Mirage was the initial map pick of Renegades. They went for that confidence pick. It was a good map for ViCi and a bit of a staple for Asian Counter-Strike. Now we saw ViCi pick the win up there. After a dominant 11-4 half, the game ends 16-11. Renegades able to grind back into it a bit. Inferno, completely different story. It was a 14-1 half in favor of the Renegades. They secure a dominant, beating over a ViCi on that map. And now trade. Looked to be a close map at the end of that first half, but now that could all get called into question. Renegades should be securing a 13th here unless ViCi are able to do the impossible with these pistols.
Smoke execute being lined up though. Flash to get them out. Now Az is going to get cut off by that smoke in the pop dog, and the push is through, but he's fine with that. He's locked it down. It's only pistols on the other end. I say only. Orman finds a dig. But Renegades will deal with the threat at hand. 6-13 rather. Another AWP up for Kaze, and Gratisfaction going to have to deal with that now. But things definitely are coming up well for the Renegades in this second half, as you say, Harry. It's been quite the lockdown. This could be the round to seal the deal, solidify their place. If they get 14 here, the money will be gone for ViCi, and at that point, it's very hard to get back into the game, so we need to see a strong rifle round here from the Chinese. Quick A play, Zoking already tagged up. Gratisfaction can't finish the kill, but he has given away the control. Now the legs are showing, but the shot isn't connecting. Az is going to move in instead to catch Zoking's retreat. He won't be able to get back towards main. Oh, as getting flashed in. Zoking was so close to the angle, and he gets away without getting spammed down from Ticon as well. Now Gratisfaction spots one of the two players up in that position, and he is just bounding around the map, remaining unpredictable. ViCi cannot find him. He's back towards the top of green, and Az is just lining them up as they exit through main. Gratisfaction again, finding loads of info, just not hitting the shot. But that one is a sitter, and he will not miss it. So Orman dead, and the round cleaned up by Renegades means 14-6. Az with a big 3K. And he's really saved this series as well. He had a stunning game on Inferno alongside Liaz, and he's sitting on 20 kills right now for the Renegades.
Az really just has been having one monstrous series. You are bang on. Another man I think it's worth talking about is Liaz. He was a real force to be reckoned with down in pit on Inferno. He's continuing that good form here on trade. Might have taken them a map to wake up, but Renegades starting to show why they were the heavy favorites to not just win this matchup, but take the Asian Minor. This buy from ViCi becomes really their last-ditch attempt in this map, in this series. And already this round has been kickstarted by Gratisfaction, securing that early man advantage, now trying to pressure Liaz. They have forced him off from Ivy, but Jacob's there to bail his teammate out. Liaz returns now to the Ivy position. Zoking up and past, but Gratisfaction from the bomb train in with his second. He missed a couple of sitters in the round prior, has not done that this time around, and that leaves Advent a 1v3. Az already up through main, completely blindsides him. They're not ready for the aggression from Renegades, and that will be them reaching map and series point. Currently going flawless on this CT side half.
Yeah, one round away from guaranteeing at least that third place decider matchup to make the major. Now, Renegades obviously being the top team in this minor, you would imagine that they would make that major in the top 2 spot at least. But just having the guarantee is always a nice trick up your sleeve, a nice bit of pressure off. Last play into B though, Freeman, he has caught JKS who went aggressive up the ramp early on, so ViCi do have that man advantage, but they won't commit with it. They'll double back, and that's mainly due to this Ivy control. 2 players here, but the timing. Kaze moves back right as Liaz moves in. And if he continues, he can shut down this push from ViCi. They're coming back in through the T-spawn. And Azza, he's down here in Popdog alone. That wallbang from Gratisfaction, he doesn't know it. But that's so much damage. He'll go back in for more, almost the connection. And now the push out onto A. Azza's going to find the first, and Gratisfaction's still here.
Molotov slows down the peak, and that might have just have saved Gratisfaction's life. Advent is still able to pick him up, no problem. This wraparound from Liaz and Jacob. If Jacob falls in Popdog, Renegades don't even bother getting a look in, and they might not even try anyway. Liaz going to see if this flank yields fruit, and it doesn't look like it will. Kaze holding the angle will pick it up. So ViCi still with some fight left in them, a 7th round here. But still, so much money over on the side of Renegades. They're not going to be gifted a means back into this game easily. Obviously, think back to that first half, Renegades, one of the things they did do, in spite of, losing rounds that really they shouldn't, they were at least able to keep that CT side economy very, very modest. And what that meant was the second they picked up a win, you destroyed the CT side economy, it allowed you to chain together a couple on the back of it, and that was how we saw them build back into the game. After going 5-1 down. I mean, still the worrying point for me is in the last 17 rounds, we've seen 2 of them go the way of ViCi. And now they're in a spot where they have to try and chain 8 together consecutively.
Yeah, it's really not a good stat, is it? That's not fun. It's Renegades. 1 minute on the clock here for this push to come through. Gratisfaction, once again, he finds this opener. Shuts down that first player up in T-Con. Zoking's going to get picked off, and ViCi going for the execute here. Gratisfaction, another molly, and this will slow down the push, and their smoke's starting to fade as well. Azza's going to be able to find one. The pop through the Popdog does net a frag for ViCi, but it's still coming down to 2 to 4. Bomb yet to get planted, and it will be dropped down the E-box. This is over. Renegades are going to be going to the upper bracket final of the playoffs. They will be in for a shot of taking that top seed and winning the Asian Minor, getting to that major new challenger stage. Commiserations to ViCi, but they put up a great fight, Harry, taking away Renegade's map pick of Mirage, and in a game that many people just counted out as a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think for ViCi, the thing is they did a great job of playing off of one another, setting each other up back on that Mirage map. We didn't see any of that on Inferno. That was completely absent. And on Train, they get off to a good start. They win rounds that really they shouldn't. But it felt like maybe it was more of the same, some problems rearing their head once again from Inferno. Renegades do close that out, though, 2-1. We're going to give this back to James and the desk to break that down.
Thank you, guys. They came, they saw, they conquered. They came all the way from North America to the Asia Minor. They have the more experience, and it certainly paid off towards the end. A slow start for Renegades, Pimp and Blair. But either way, they managed to do what they were supposed to do, right? Is it just kind of, okay, look, this is a very different use of Counter-Strike again. We had to play catch-up and go, wait a second. We can't play our normal game the entire time. And also, we're not going to allow them to get away with that again.
I think it's a combination of 2 things. One off, ViCi Gaming played way better on Mirage than any of us expected. I think they played some of the best Counter-Strike we've seen them play so far this tournament. Whereas for Renegades, we talked about it, they came into that matchup a little bit, I wouldn't say with disrespect in regards to ViCi Gaming, but they weren't playing the normal game they probably would have had they played a European opposition. They were going straight into executes, didn't really give them the time or sort of like the respect to figure out what they were doing. And in that regard, I think Mirage just spun out of control for Renegades. We saw in the next following 2 maps how much better Renegades are in pretty much all aspects of Counter-Strike. So in that regard, kudos to ViCi Gaming for taking that map win off. We did not expect that, but Renegades, they're the better team and they have quality player.
Yeah, absolutely. Even looking at the maps, right? I did mention earlier on, I mean, I'm just going back to the map Vita, but I did say like Dust 2 would have been a map which I would have preferred ViCi to pick up instead of banning Dust 2 and going to Train. I know Renegades are good in Dust 2, but it is a map which can allow an underdog team like ViCi to let their players go off. Like Kaze was actually having a pretty good series, all things considered. Like he's great with the AWP. Freeman is having a great time as well. Train is a map, generally speaking, we need to be pretty well versed, both on the CT side and T. It's really hard on the T side if you can't get anything going for you, right? You need to force map control, get that IV control, get pop block control. It requires a lot of experience, so to speak, in playing that map. You just can't like just read up a couple of guides and be like, yeah, we know how to play Train. It doesn't work that way. And we saw there on the T side, on the second half, that is, ViCi just got nothing going for them. them. And on the CT side, Renegades were just abusing them time and time again. They were countering them all the time. Their defaults, they were actually playing the default this time around when it was a mid-round, late rounds and fast rounds and whatnot. So yeah, they just got completely outplayed, but I don't think ViCi should be too, shattered by that fact. I think they still have a chance because then coming up next is going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, that's not it for now, right? We've got another game to come, but first of all, before we get on to that, we've got an interview. We've got Azza down there with Jason Kaplan, and the first thing I really want to know is they didn't look too happy when they actually kind of won that game there. I'm guessing that's because they didn't get the 2-0 they wanted.
Well, you know what, Banks? I only get 2 questions, so if you wanted to ask him that, you come down here yourself. You're not man enough to do it. And I'll ask him that actually in particular. He just said to me, or said on the show, you guys didn't look particularly happy after that match, that victory. Can you explain why?
I mean, it wasn't like we were over ecstatic, but we already knew we'd won the game pretty much, I guess. We're pretty disappointed with how map 1 went, so we really just, I guess, upped ourselves up a little bit and just came out swinging the next 2 maps.
So after map 1 then, as a player, how do you kind of move on into the second map knowing it's such a, a really intense matchup here and it's a really valuable victory to have under your belt?
Yeah. So it's pretty much just about resetting. You just got to forget about the last map and just go on the next one and just focus on that one. If you're going to think about the last map, you're just going to screw yourself up and not be thinking straight. So, yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to rush one more question in on you really quickly before we head it back. The boot camp you guys had at the Kingland facility, is there anything you can say to us that you particularly worked on within the team coming into this?
I don't think anything crazy. We obviously had our break, and then heading into the boot camp, we just played a lot. We just did the casual stuff, I guess, but we put a lot of work in. We came into this tournament feeling pretty confident, so nothing crazy, just boot camp, watching a lot of demos, a lot of practice, and yeah, that's about it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, man, and congratulations on that victory. Banks, you got your answer. I hope you're happy with it.
I am happy with it, thank you, Jason. I know I have to help you out because interviews aren't your strong point, but every now and again, I like to make sure I can throw a bit of my own weight around to ensure that Jason can get what he needs, right? We've got to give him all the help he can. But someone who didn't need help in that game was certainly Azza himself. This man actually delivered across the board, not just as an in-game leader, but his actual just ability as well.
Yeah, I mean, the guy really did step up, right? We talked about JKS. Jacob's been the carry for the team for quite a while. Grad, Liaz as well. I just want to touch on Liaz. Like, I was talking about this earlier in the tournament. Like, Liaz has been kind of quiet ever since he joined his Renegades lineup. It's been Grad's faction who's been the better pickup. But I think he's really come into his own, especially in the past couple of series they've played. And of course, Azur, like you mentioned, James, I mean, he has been playing out of his mind, and that's great considering he's calling for the team as well.
They got the job done, simple as it is. Renegades were the better team. Renegades is a team that I expect to go into the major regardless of what's happening tomorrow in their winners game. So it's good to see them, and it's also good to see the fact that he's a little bit disappointed after that Mirage game. Because I do think they should hold themselves up to a high standard. We do it, and the fact that they do it themselves, that's a positive sign moving on into the tournament.
It's a good mentality to have for sure. What we're going to do now is throw over to a break. We'll see you guys very shortly because it's time to get on to our next best of 3.